Hi, everyone. Google, founded in 1998 by Sergey Brin and Larry Page, is driven by the mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Over the years, Google has solidified its position as a tech industry giant. However, as your CEO stated, the company faces tough competition from other big tech companies like Microsoft and Amazon. As of 2023, Amazon dominated the cloud market with 30% market share, followed by Microsoft with 24% and Google with just 11%. To stay ahead, Google recognized the urgency to fortify its position and is doubling down on artificial intelligence as a strategic lever. By integrating AI across almost all of its product spectrum, the company aims to resonate with today's tech-savvy consumers who rely heavily on information and technology. In our presentation, we will highlight Google's dedication to advancing AI and machine learning. My teammates, Yvonne, Haley, Jonathan, and I understand that your company's success relies heavily on innovation in AI and machine learning, and you must attract and retain the best minds in these fields. However, this isn't easy, especially with competitors like OpenAI offering competitive pay, Amazon promoting a culture of innovation and diversity, and Microsoft providing opportunities for employees to make a global impact. Next slide. In this presentation, we will highlight your strategic and communication goals. We will share an overview of the environment and the stakeholder analysis we conducted, present an actionable implementation plan for our communication strategies and the metrics for gauging success, and lastly, we will wrap up by sharing our results and recommendations. Next slide. Given Google's competitive challenges in cloud computing and AI, your strategic goals are to leverage AI and machine learning to improve the company's competitiveness across its product and service portfolio, strengthen the processing power and competitiveness of Gemini as the chatbot of choice, and to attract and retain top AI and machine learning talent to sustain Gemini's competitive advantage. Next slide. Our communication plan aims to support these strategic business goals mentioned earlier and designed to showcase Google's employer value prop to attract top talent, develop tailored messaging and communication frameworks for HRBPs, people managers, recruiters, and other stakeholders to improve employee retention, and forming strategic partnerships with universities around AI and machine learning and providing cooperative education opportunities. And with that, I'll hand it over to Haley so she can walk us through the analysis.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the analysis portion, specifically focusing on the stakeholder analysis and the SWOT analysis. So to start off, to analyze a couple of the key stakeholders effectively, it's important to look at a few key groups. The first being the CEO and VPs, or C-suite level management. They're the ultimate decision makers, and in day-to-day operations, they are crucial in allocating resources for AI and ML projects within the brands such as Gemini. The next upper-level management team would be the directors and senior leaders. Despite their varied interest in project operations, they do have high power in decision-making as well. Another group to look at is the people managers. They should be managed closely because of their direct influence on talent's decision to stay or leave Google as a company. Their role in implementing strategic goals and creating a conducive and appealing work environment for AI and ML talent makes them integral for the realization of communication and business goals. Another key stakeholder is the human resource business partners and hiring managers. They work to align HR strategies with business objectives and have tremendous power in shaping the recruitment process. The communications team, including internal, external, and PR groups, have indirect power in talent management, but have immense power in portrayal of the company's work culture and success in the AI and ML fields. Finally, another important stakeholder group is prospective employees. They have very little power or control over attraction and retention of talent, but they have great information in the assessment of how Google compares to other organizations. Next slide, please. To dive further into Gemini and their strategic communication goals, the SWOT analysis shows Google having key strengths, positioning themselves as an innovative industry leader due to their vast data sets and advanced infrastructure. However, some key weaknesses vary from privacy and ethical concerns of AI use to intense battles for talent that retracts from its ability to keep its innovative edge. Opportunities are found in expansion, such as innovations for health and other emerging tech markets. They also have the ability to position themselves as a leader in ethical AI practices. Notably, some of the major threats remain from regulatory challenges, competition, and the need for further innovation. The company's success in navigating these areas and their ability to access and maintain top-tier AI talent will sustain Google's competitive advantage and leadership position in this world of technological innovation. And now on to Yvonne and the implementation strategies.
Thank you very much, Haley. After identifying and collaborating with many Gemini stakeholders, our team chose to first identify and highlight the pivotal role that each stakeholder group played in the success of the strategy to assist with implementing the communication plan. We first took a very active approach and we talked to several of the stakeholders. The first were the employees, and the employees, we looked at their group and we said, in order to retain qualified personnel, Gemini staff must first engage with new employees after the recruitment process. Then secondarily, human resources and people managers should meet on a bi-weekly basis to review progress and gather feedback from employees. And then the Gemini team should meet on a weekly basis to review feedback from other stakeholders to derive strategies for product development. And finally, we discovered universities as some of our key partners in the recruitment must offer training and development for new employees. So after we gathered all this information from our key stakeholders, we came up with 3 communication objectives. Our first objective is to develop a consistent messaging framework. Employees involved with Gemini will set up a large meeting for all internal stakeholders associated with the project. During this meeting, groups will review the mission, the vision, and the values, as well as the goals and objectives of Gemini and Google at large. The goal of this meeting will be to provide team members with a clear and consistent framework to use in messaging campaigns and align people's priorities. If any elements of the messaging framework require revision, people may use this opportunity to suggest them. Some of the important elements that we want to include are the mission, the vision, the values, employer value propositions, brand equity, and company culture. Our second objective is members of the Gemini project team and marketing teams will need to meet to apply the messaging framework developed in Objective 1 and plan overall social media posts, media releases, and outreach to stakeholders both internally and externally. Some of the key themes that we came up with were history of innovation, commitment to the common good, rewarding career trajectory, and positive company culture. And finally, our third objective is to position Google as a leader in the AI and ML development. Positioning Google as an AI and ML leader will allow the company to attract and retain talent. Through an increase in positive media coverage and industry rewards, Google and Gemini will be positioned as a leader in this industry. And now I'd like to turn it over to Jonathan to discuss results and recommendations.
Thank you, Yvonne. With that being said, let's discuss results and recommendations. So the big 3 things we want to achieve are, we want you to attract top AI and machine learning talent. We want you to improve the retention of said AI and machine learning talent. And lastly, we want you to establish Google as an AI and machine learning innovation leader. Let's start by defining success with some target metrics. For our first objective, we want to see a 20% year-over-year increase in new applications. We want to see a 30% improvement in skills match rate. We want to see a 15% increase in applicant diversity. And our key performance indicator for this will be application count, quality, and conversion to interview rate. For our second objective, we want to see a 15% reduction in turnover rates. We want to see a 10% increase in satisfaction scores. And we want to see a qualitative improvement in employee feedback. Our key performance indicators for this objective are turnover rate among talent professionals and employee satisfaction, including work environment feedback. For our third objective, we want to see a 25% increase in positive media mentions. We want to see 2 big wins in industry awards. And we want to see a 20% increase in external publications citing Google and Gemini's AI research. Our key performance indicators here are the number of media mentions, industry recognition, and citations of Google's research. Now, how do we measure these results? For our first objective, we are going to track new applications. We're going to quantify applicant quality based on a scorecard system, and we're going to conduct surveys measuring awareness of Google's recruiting efforts. For our second objective, we want you to conduct employee satisfaction surveys, conduct periodic one-on-one interviews with new hires. Lastly, for your third objective, you want to monitor and analyze media coverage. You want to track media inquiries, press releases, and mentions using tools like Google Alerts, Critical Mention, and more. So now that all that is said and done, I would like to leave you with a few recommendations. First and foremost, capitalize on your existing brand reputation. It's fantastic. Google has a wonderful reputation for innovation, company culture, and beyond. Very important, you need to brief your internal stakeholders on messaging, objectives, and outcomes. And you need to make sure everybody's on the same page, especially because of the size and complexity of your organization. For your stakeholders, you should be collaborating with upper management, directors and senior leaders, HR managers, CEOs, vice presidents. You need to involve prospective employees in your process, and you need to keep the media informed. Any other stakeholder groups who we would consider low power and low interest, you should consult and make sure that they don't become a problem. Lastly, you should conduct continuous evaluation of your success along the way, and don't be afraid to adjust your strategy as needed. Thank you all for listening. It's been a pleasure presenting to you on behalf of our team, Jonathan, Yvonne, Haley, and Sumair. And we wish you the best of luck in pushing Gemini to new heights.